Hey, Steve Severs from Bionic Buzz. Welcome to NAMM 2020.
Bionic Buzz, we're all about people's passion. So I want to know where your passion for music came from before we get into your big, rich history of Ace of Cups. So was a certain album inspired it? Was a certain live performance? Or was it always something naturally for you as a child?
I was playing piano from when I was 3. I just was always drawn to music. If I was like walking along the street and I heard music coming out of somewhere, I would just make a turn right in to go to where that place was. So that was always for me.
Very cool.
How about you, Diane?
Well, in the back of my parents' car, going on a trip, listening to the radio, singing along with it, and then later years, in junior high, or grammar school actually, is when I first got interested in drums and music and onward.
Very cool. All right, so take me back to the 60s. When do you ladies form? It's really, there was no really all-girl rock bands back then, right? So you're in San Francisco, you're living in a house right down by Grateful Dead, is that correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, when we all met, we were all living kind of in the same area.
Yeah.
And that was the very beginning of 1967.
Okay.
And so, I was the last one to meet the other 4, but within the beginning of January 1967, we started just hanging out and playing music and having a good time and writing songs. And within a really short time, we had a manager and we had a name. We didn't ever, we weren't planning for that. It just happened. And we had a place to practice, and we had Max Weiss from Fantasy Records, who I worked for at the time, assigned for us to rent some gear because we didn't have very much gear. And pretty soon, within a few months, we had we had Ambrose, our first manager, Ambrose Hollingsworth, and we were given a place to live for a while, quit our day jobs, and work on music all the time. And that was in the spring, and by June, we opened for Jimi Hendrix in Golden Gate Park.
Yeah, tell me about Jimi Hendrix. I was a big fan of 27 Club. So do you have any fun stories with him?
Yeah, well, opening for him in the panhandle of Golden Gate Park, and he used our equipment. Yeah, he did. And he told Ellen Simpson, our guitarist, he said, I'm not going to break your amp. She goes, oh, man, no, it's okay. Okay,
Not going to light anything on fire.
Yeah. But, he's very kind of shy. You wouldn't think that, huh? And just a really nice person. That's what it got the vibe of. And, we were blown away to, get that opportunity to play for him.
So, 1967, you guys have a manager, but you don't record anything?
Well, the bands in those days were basically some of them were getting courted by the record labels, which were mostly from LA and New York.
Oh, okay.
And so the Airplane got signed, and the Dad got signed, and Quicksilver got signed, and some of the other bands. But we just, I think they didn't know what to make of us because we were 5 women. We all played, we all sang, and we had different musical influences. So some had. We just got everything from R&B to kind of country rock to psychedelic rock. And we never felt that we had to, put ourselves in a box.
Yeah.
And if we were writing something that was in one direction or another, we never stopped and said, well, that's not our style. We didn't do that. And so I think we were and there were no other all-women's bands that were getting signed in those days, at least in anywhere that we knew.
Yeah.
And I think they just looked at us and went, what are you?
So basically just like a live touring band, and then what happened?
Well, you were touring as well, pretty much only where we could open for other people or, do small tours, but we didn't tour.
California, or?
Well, we went to Seattle and Vancouver with the Airplane, and we came to LA, and we did some. We did one show in Chicago with, it was a legendary blues show that we got to open for, with, great blue, the historic, Muddy Waters.
Wow.
It was like some of the members of Quicksilver. Our second manager was from Chicago, so we had the connections with the Butterfield guys and everything. So we, but mostly in those days, if you didn't have a record, you didn't do big tours.
Oh, gotcha.
So yeah.
So when tell me the history. When did you break up? I guess after were you together?
We
for
just
1
faded
year?
out.
Just faded out.
Not
No,
fade
that's
away, but we faded away. Love is love, and we faded away. No,
No, but some of you I think got married, had kids.
Yeah.
I think I remember watching a documentary.
Right.
Together during that time.
Okay. Oh, cool.
So that's not what
in,
faded us out. It's just that you can just do the music so long.
Yeah.
And when nothing's, generated for you, and there's something for you to have a goal, set a goal for. We just kind of like I said, just kind of faded away. We kept.
What time period is this?
1973.
Okay, so
actually, a little before that.
That's a long
Yeah.
run then.
It was
67,
more like 71, 72, because I moved to Kauai in June of 72.
Okay.
Okay, so about
But
that time.
yeah,
but
but
then
be-
we still
yeah.
played in other bands, and then
Oh.
came together for reunions.
Yeah, let's get to the
remained
reunion.
fans.
When did you? Was it 2018 was the reunion, or was it earlier than that?
Oh well, we reunited at different times just to play
Oh.
together through the years.
Oh, okay,
Because
cool.
we were all playing in other bands, but we'd come together to play once in a while. But the real reunion was for 2011. We played for Wavy Gravy's 75th birthday in the
wow.
Bay Area, and out of that, Diane and Mary Ellen and I, the guitarists, started meeting every couple of months with the help of our record label, High Moon Records. We started meeting and just playing together, but we still never thought we'd record. We just were getting some help to, have plain fare and rehearsal studios to play. And then we were writing again, and our record label just said, you should get in the studio. So
All right. So when did you go to the studio?
3.5 years ago, 4 years ago, yeah.
So 1967. It took how long to get you in the recording
50
studio?
years.
Yeah, 50 years.
So this is 50 years in the making, huh?
Yeah.
So this
That
is your self-titled double album, and it's some songs are new, some songs are one back in the
Yep.
late 60s, 70s, and stuff. So
All are recorded now.
All are recorded,
No,
yeah.
I mean, we might have reworked some of the songs, but none of the recordings are old recordings. It's all new,
It's very diverse album too. Like
Right.
there's psychedelic songs, and you have some more rock songs. I really like the stuff where you all harmonize together. I think it was like the music track. I think is
Right.
when you're all singing together. And
Right.
then the more rock stuff like Stones was a great rocking song. So. You got so much different musical influence, Liz.
We still are, and the amazing thing is that we now have a record label who they don't try and put us in a box. They love the kind of the scope of what we hear and feel and want to play.
Yeah.
Because we're not just one. And people say, well, what kind of music do you play? So what I usually go is psychedelic rock, because usually it kind of blows a few minds when people look at me and I say that. But really, like music, what would you call that? And then what would you call,
It's hard.
Well,
good music's good music, no matter
Right.
what it's called. So.
Right, so,
The Easy Cups.
yeah.
So was it fun recording, or was it easy, hard? I'm sure you recorded with other bands and stuff in the past.
Not a lot, no, not
Really?
a lot.
So
Some,
much reading.
but this was the first really organized and professional studio.
What studio did you record in?
In San Rafael, the Laughing Tiger, with the producer Dan Shea, awesome,
Yeah.
and who just took these songs and helped us just make them happen, and we're so grateful. It's a great time for us right now, and quite a journey.
Yeah.
And it's still going on. We're going on
I
tour
like
this
your
summer, and we've got another album coming out in
And you
August.
also did one last year in 2019, right? It was more. You had.
This is the album from last year.
Okay, this is the last
This
one.
is the first and only one out, studio album out now. And then the next one will be out this summer, probably August, and then another one a year later.
Okay, so you're still constantly writing then, basically.
We're writing new things, and we've recorded, a good portion of what will be out in the next two, because we just started recording, and I think we got to 36 tracks before we just said, okay, because it was going to be a single album, and then it turned into a double vinyl, and then it turned into a triple, and then it was going to be 4, and when it passed that, we just said, okay, we're just going to do it, break it up.
Vinyl sells these days now. Isn't that crazy how,
Yeah.
I love it.
CDs took it out and now it's coming back. So this is beautiful because it comes in a big book here. The history, which, all these great photos. Where are some of these from?
Let's see. Well, you want to hold it up?
Yeah.
That one's from the Palace of Fine Arts, a big benefit that we did there with a whole bunch of other bands. It was everybody from Michael Bloomfield, Janice played, and Big Mama Thornton. I mean, it was like John Handy. It was jazz and rock. That was that one. Let's see. But the other thing that you might not see here is inside. So on one side of the record, the sleeves is a poster.
Oh, look at that.
And the other side is, these are scrapbook pieces from our scrapbook from the 1960s. So we have all kinds of, and the other one, that was when we opened for the band. And then if you turn it around, there's more scrapbook.
And there's artwork there too.
Yeah.
Who did the artwork?
All different friends of ours, or sometimes us.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
speaking of, let's go over, this comes into to us, right? You can put those
Yep.
down.
So that's our book. It's got all of our lyrics. It's got notes on every song, the history or what the song, was. Some of them are new and some not, And then
There's there's little biographies too,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So we got all through all the songs and lyrics, which I love. They used to have those always in the vinyl back then. Let's see.
these are the song notes, which tell us about each song, some of the stories that go with them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I'm so fascinated by all this. Is there a thought about doing like a movie about your life?
Yes.
This is like
Yeah, there is.
so very cool. All right, so I'll be seeing it. Where can we stay up to date? Everything going on with you? Website?
We have a really great website. It's called aceofcups.com, and there's a community. You can sign up on the community, and then we'll be able to let people know when we're touring and things like that. We also are on Facebook and Instagram, Ace of Cups. But our website's great because it's got a lot of music videos and press and interviews. We did a couple of really fun interviews that are unusual, and they're on there. And it was really fun. And then we just played the Today Show a few weeks ago, so so it's all on the website.
Very cool. Thank you so much for taking your time to talk to me.
Thank you.